Hey guys, it's me Ash, and something that is really interesting, and this stuck with me many years ago when I heard Tony Robbins, when I went and saw him live in Melbourne. Something he said was really powerful and has stuck with me ever since, and he said that he experiences the same emotions as anybody else, and he encounters the same monsters as everybody else. Monsters, demons. Basically, what we're talking about is unpleasant emotions, specifically depression, anxiety, and any sort of emotional pain. Now, what Tony Robbins said that was really interesting is that he experiences those as well. He's no different to anyone else out there. We all of those emotions, we all feel them at different times. And what the way he talked about them, he said he kills baby monsters early. He addresses them before they evolve and grow into bigger monsters. Now, I'm not a big fan of that analogy because labeling an emotion a monster is probably not very helpful. Okay, you're not really honoring that emotion. You're not being grateful for that emotion. You're actually putting a negative connotation or a negative label on that emotion. So I'm not a big fan of that language, okay, personally. So maybe I need to give Tony Robbins some coaching tips. But, oh, I make myself laugh. But from my experience, I want to talk about my experience. So from my experience, right, a lot of clients come to me, they're feeling depressed, they're feeling anxious, they're suffering, they've got emotional pain. Now, and often these people think they come to a person like me and I don't have those emotions. I don't suffer with those sort of emotions, or I don't experience them. And it's just not the case, because we all experience the same emotions. In our lifetimes, we're all going to feel the emotion of depression. We're all going to feel the emotion of anxiety. We're all going to feel the emotion of sadness, of grief. We're going to feel anger. We're going to feel all of those emotions and sensations and states of being. Now, the difference is, okay, when you do the work to connect with yourself, to stay grounded and balanced and sovereign in your own being, when you feel unpleasant emotions, emotions that that won't serve your highest good if they stay in the body, okay? So if you feel unpleasant emotions, you need to sit with them, honor them, thank them for serving you up until this point. If it's fear, for example, thank that fear for keeping you safe and serving you up until this point. But then you can acknowledge and choose to move that fear through and to choose love in the present moment that you're currently in, and continue to choose love in every present moment after that. That is a choice that you can make. So what I've got really good at, and what the difference is between me and people who suffer with these emotions of depression, of sadness, of anger, frustration, guilt, the only difference, I feel those emotions at times as well, but when I do, I catch them really early, and I have beautiful awareness that that I'm feeling those emotions, and I will sit with them as soon as I am able to. Now, it's not always practical because we've got things to do in the world, but as soon as I get a chance, I will go and sit and meditate and feel into that emotion and lean into it in my little safe container that I've created for myself in my little home private yoga meditation space. And it's really important to have one of those. If you don't have one in your home, I highly recommend, and something I can help you with if you need help with, setting up a space like that is a safe container for you to lean into emotions of that nature and do the healing work. But basically that's the difference, is that for me, what I've just got really good at, because I wasn't always good at it, there was a period of 20 years where I chose to live with depression and I chose to suffer. So I wasn't always good at it, but I didn't give up, and I kept working on it, to the point where now I am extremely good at moving emotions through the body quickly. And taking the lesson, you got to remember, the universe is always working for your highest good. And everything happens for a reason. So when you feel an emotion, you're supposed to feel it. Because there's something there. There's always a lesson. There's always a download. It's guidance from Source itself. There's deep wisdom there. So you want to tap into that if you want to move towards your fullest potential as a human and live fully in this life. So that is the difference. We all feel those emotions. So if you're feeling depressed, anxious, sad, angry, frustrated, guilty, whatever it is, okay, don't think that you're the only one feeling those emotions, because everyone does. Okay, some people are just really good at hiding it or pretending that they don't feel those emotions. If you like we often meet people in the world who look like they've got all their shit together and they look successful, and we think, wow, that person would never feel depressed. But actually, we all do at times, and it's completely normal. And the other thing is, you are not your diagnosis, okay? If you get a diagnosis of depression, that's okay. That means that you have the emotion of depression inside of you in that moment. It's there, you need to lean into it, but that's not who you are. That's just an emotion, and it can be moved through. And so if it can be moved through and it can then leave the body, then clearly it's not who you are, because who you are is what's left behind. This empty vessel, this vehicle of nothingness. In quantum physics, when they look through the microscope and they look at the cell, they see 99.9% empty space. We are floating particles vibrating together. We are an illusion held together by frequency, vibration, by Om. Pretty fucking cool. Anyway, so that's important to realize too. If you have been given a diagnosis of, doesn't matter what it is, depression, anxiety, OCD, PTSD, ADHD, whatever, you are not your diagnosis. Okay, you can have awareness. The diagnosis may be helpful. Okay, it may give you some insight into how to manage your life better temporarily with some little band-aid solutions. Okay, but if you want to get to the root cause of what's going on, basically you just need to come back to yourself. Your self-care practices, your rituals, your yoga, your meditations, whatever it is for you, cold water therapy, lifting weights, running, walking, camping out in nature, swimming in the ocean, surfing, what doesn't matter. Whatever your self-care practices are, you come back to those to nourish yourself, to connect with yourself. So those emotions can be moved through, so you can better understand the core essence of who you really are. So personally, I find that that's a very powerful place to live from. And yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think. Lots of love and healing. See ya.